the universes, galaxies. Okay? So, maybe it might be saying that God's orgasm is the dance of the universes, in the universes, and everything therein contained. When we put those two numbers together, which is 21 and 7, we get a 28. Y'all have seen me do this before. That's my favorite number. You know, everybody's favorite. What's your favorite number? You ever thought about it? Really? I mean, just let it come into your head. Don't think about it. I didn't mean to say that. Just let it come in there. But this is mine. Okay? 28 is the number of orgasm. It is a 1. Okay? It is the creative act without barriers. Now, what does that mean, Paula? Of course, you've got to have some kind of, you know, you got to lay the, like, right now I'm seeing a brick mason laying those bricks. He's following a pattern. Yeah, there's patterns and cycles and, you know, ridges and stuff. So, you got to have this act of doing what it is that you do without somebody telling you you shouldn't do that, you can't do that, that's wrong, that's right, that's bad, that's good, that's... And also, here it goes. You know, we can do a lot of things. We can do anything we want to. And people are going to say, well, you shouldn't do this, you should do that, and all that. But at the same time, this is not listening to that. This is what this is about. You just got to go with it. You got to do what it is that you do because that's why you're here to do. You're here to do you. But more than that, when you try to do something to get something from it, that is not orgasm. That is not orgasm. Orgasm is going to take place in and of itself, beyond and behind and before you. You don't have any control over it, nor can you make it happen, nor can you prevent it from happening. So that's what I mean. If you go to bed even with those ideas, it's going to restrict it somehow. It all comes back to doing what you want to do because you love to do it and for no other reason. And that should apply on every level, from work to relationships, to food, to what else? You know, just, I don't know, partying, I don't know. Just, I'm trying to make up some things. Okay, so this creative act, learning how to relax in the moment. What was that R word? Did I even have an R word? I think I did. Morality. I know I did that. What was the R word? Might be that reasons. We'll see. Uh-oh. Resolve. Resolve. Sacred, sexual, artistic energy. All of this energy is used for many things. Music, art, drama, baking a cake, designing clothes, cleaning your house, building a bridge, figuring out your bank book, doing something on the internet. It's all the same thing, but it says it's going to become more important. But here's what you're doing. Here's that R word. Resolve, solve, resolve. Mitzi, could it be that we have to continually, repeatedly, over and over, even though we know these things and we've been taught these things and the things that I am saying today, we have to resolve, keep doing it, resolving the same issues, the same problems, over and 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 over again, until this flows freely. Freely. Freely, 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 freely. Freely, 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 freely. Oh, yeah, until it flows freely. Okay, let's see. It's called penetration. That's what it's called. Being penetrated by God. Penetrated. Making love to God. Making love to God. Because he, she, it is continuing making love to you. All right, so we've got am I going to hold out these? Yes, I am. 18, 5, 19, 15, 12, good gracious, 22, you know I can't drop that one, and 5. So we've got 25. So how do we resolve anything, Mitzi? How do we resolve anything? Release. Release. And you're going to have to continue to do that. You're going to have to continue resolve that releasing problem, because you have been so it's more than saturated. You have been inundated. You have been so layered over and layered over and layered over with these ideas that you got to go really down deep to find out, who it is that you are, and so that you can relax enough to experience this orgasmic episode that's going on with you all the time. And then inundated. Is that the word? Release. So you're going to have to, it'll be brought, you think, okay, I'm going to really work on this to try to release it. Well, again, that's just like trying to have an orgasm. When you're actively trying to release something, the very act that you're trying to do it is going to prevent it from happening. When you become aware that you want to release, these things are heavy. They're making you tired. They're exhausting you. You're not getting any joy from anything you're doing because your mind is flooded with negative thoughts, with you're taking on, you're letting the energies of everyone else just flow into you, and you're becoming this bitter, old, wretched girl or guy. Not very attractive in the least. So to become more attractive and to become much more sexually attractive, you must release. You must release. Okay. Now, look at all this big number. We got 37, don't we? Yeah, we got 37. We got a 49. And we got a 71. Woo! That is an 8. Good gracious sakes, look what you have got to release. Look what that resolve. Look at the personality of that resolve. What does it include? Huh? I mean, this is an ongoing thing, sweetie. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And you've seen other shows when I do this. Every time you have the opportunity to release some of these things when you cross that abyss. All right? What is it that you are having to resolve and release? Ideas about sex, death, money, which results from wanting to control and dominate and worry and all those things. So you have these ideas and you want to release them. So you say, okay, I'm going to release them. So I'm going to, here you go. These are high-minded ideas. You really want to release them. So here you come. You can get rid of them. You can get rid of them right here. You can drop them. You can drop them. One at a time. You can't drop all of them. But guess what happens when you drop them? You know that person called Mitzi that had, I'm just going to deal with one. Just one little teeny speck of an idea. Okay? And that made up her. Well, when she comes down here and she has to drop it, there's a little bit of her that's going to be gone. So she's not going to be able to be as important to herself as she was before she dropped that. She can't be that person anymore. And so when you get down here, and if she don't do it, Missy, I'm using you, then when you get down here, it's going to multiply. That idea that you wanted to drop, and if you didn't drop it, you're going to come back around here carrying it and carry it back up there, and it's going to be bigger than ever. Simply because, why? You don't want to die into the orgasm of God. Now, the truth is you really do want to. You really, 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 really do. But you are so identified. Everybody is. I'm identified with Paula. You're identified with Mary. Mitzi's identified with Mitzi. Sandy's identified with Sandy. That we have difficulty letting go of the idea that we really don't exist to begin with. Paul, that's so stupid. Boy, you have really crossed over. Yeah. Existing as a separate entity, existing outside of the orgasmic dance of God. We don't exist outside of that orgasmic dance of God. We can't possibly. If we did, we can control life and birth, and we cannot. We would know where we came from and where we're going, and we do not. We can make all the speculations, you can have all the theories you want to, but you do not know. So, in all actuality, we don't exist, even though everything points to the fact that we do exist, and we try to get more things. Look here, I can pick up this book. This means I exist. I can go eat some food. I can go home and lay in my bed. I exist. You live. You live. Just like your cells are living in your body, but you can't see them. You can't control them. You have no idea how they function. I mean, of course, you can read in medical books how they function, but I'm talking about consciously. So your whole deal, this self-awareness, prevents orgasm. I mean, the truly orgasmic experience of resolving all of this anxiety and this bitterness and this resentfulness and this competition and this competing and this worrying and this, well, all of that is caught up, because when that orgasm occurs, you are not aware of that. You are not aware. When you, just on the level of having an orgasm with somebody, you know, you no longer exist. For that, you no longer exist. I mean, it would be impossible. You couldn't have the orgasm if you existed. So, in that sense, you're having to die. You've heard me say it on other shows. You cannot take you where you're going. And that is the truth. But yet we want to. And then we've heard this written in the Bible, you know, Jesus knocks on the door, and whoever will answer, you know, he'll come in, he'll sup with them, and you sup with him. And you've heard the parable about him splitting the skies open and coming back and getting you and everything. Okay. But if he knocked on the door and he said, all right, I'm ready. Hey, Jane, come on. You know, you can't say, well, wait a minute, I got to go get my daughter. I got to go get my son. My father's in the backyard. He'll want to go too. Nope. That ain't going to happen. In that same sense, what you have as an accumulated idea of yourself has got to die. That's another thing. You know, you must die daily. But you have to be born again. And there's nothing closer to the death, birth, orgasmic experience than dropping the ideas accumulated ideas that you have about yourself and which govern those. Morality. 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 Okay, so what are we going to do next? That was a good run. That was a really good run. Self-awareness. When you became aware, you know, when you become aware, as Adam and Eve they were aware that they were naked after they ate of the tree, the symbolic tree of good and evil. Okay, they became aware. Before that, they were unaware. They were living in the orgasmic expression of God. God was that. But then they ate of the tree of the good and evil, and they became aware of themselves, of their existence. And if they became aware of their existence, then that took precedence over God's unified existence. And you know what the punishment was? Their self-awareness for the rest of their life. For as long as they lived, they would be aware of themselves. And trying to be reunified, resolved back, eliminating this idea that we are separate from God, that's a journey. And the thing that clears it up more than anything else is the realization that you know that you're a walking orgasmic expression of the divine energy. You are. I am. We all are. But when we take that morality and throw it in there, like, you know, we're not supposed to be experiencing this pleasure. We're not supposed to be this joyful, this resolved. And we want to say it's wrong or it's right or you need to do this in order to do that and all of that. It interferes with it. But God's love is perfect and it passes all understanding. And we receive it all the time in everything that we do. And that's what we're trying to do. But trying to do, I don't like those words. We ain't trying to do it. If we stop trying to do it, it will just happen of itself, because there is no color and there is no race and there is no religion and there is no culture and there is no, it's all